Hello and welcome to Today in History. My name is Sotonye Afiesimana. We're going to be doing things a little bit different today, partially because I'm strapped for time and I thought I'll do something a bit more creative. So it doesn't involve the usual picture scroll, but it does involve pictures of a different kind. The different is the closest word that I can come up with at the moment. So keep watching, and the format's going to change slightly as well. Format in two senses, if you like, for lack of a better term. Let's get cracking. You'll find out. But watch till the end, stay till the end, and there's a bit of a surprise for you. Okay, so let's get cracking. Today in history. So, 1453. So you can see what I've done there. French forces rout the English in the Battle of Castillon, the concluding battle of the 100 Years' War. So this happened in 1453, as you can see from there. 1918, former Russian Tsar Nicholas II and his family are executed by the Bolsheviks. 18 years later, in 1936, was the beginning of the Spanish Civil War. It was a well-planned uprising by nationalist rebels against the Republican government of Spain. It began this day in 1936, sparking a bloody civil war that lasted for 3 years, ending in 1939. This was when the Nationalists and Francisco Franco assumed power. 1943, Major General Joseph Nanven Garba, he was a diplomat and politician, was born on this day in a town called Langtang, Plateau State. Plateau State is in Nigeria, and Nigeria is in West Africa. He served as president of the United Nations General Assembly from 1989 until 1990. 1945, on this day, Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Harry S. Truman meet at the Potsdam Conference, the last Allied summit conference of World War II. 1996, on this day, Flight 800 explodes over Long Island shortly after takeoff from New York's Kennedy International Airport. It was a Trans World Airlines Boeing 747. It was a jetliner bound for Paris, obviously a jetliner, bound for Paris, and it exploded over the Atlantic Ocean and killed all 230 people on board. On this day, 17th of July 1997, Robert C. Weaver, the first African-American United States cabinet member, died at the age of 89. Weaver served as the first Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under the administration of President Lyndon B. Johnson from 1966 to 1968. In 1969, Weaver accepted a post as president of Baruch College. 1 year later, he left for Hunter College, where he was a professor of urban affairs until 1978. Weaver also served as chairman of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, from 1960 to 1961. Weaver was born on December the 29th, 1907 in Washington, D.C., to Mortimer Grover Freeman and Florence Freeman. He was the grandson of Robert Turner Freeman, the son of slaves, and the first African American to graduate in dentistry from Harvard University. Wow, that was in 1869. Weaver was a holder of 3 degrees himself from Harvard, a Bachelor of Sciences, a Master of Arts, and a Doctor of Philosophy. He was married to former Ella V. Hayes. Their son Robert Jr. preceded them in death in 1962. How sad. 6 years ago, 2014, Eric Garner dies in NYPD chokehold. Yet another death by strangulation. Would I say strangulation or by suffocation? Anyway, I'll carry on. So, 2 New York Police Department officers confront Eric Garner, a 43-year-old African-American father of 6, for illegally selling cigarettes. Garner dies after losing consciousness as a police officer locks him in an illegal chokehold, and within hours, a video of the incident begins to spark outrage across the country. Garner was known as a neighborhood peacemaker in his Staten Island community and was also well known to the police for selling cigarettes illegally near the ferry terminal on Staten Island. Officers Daniel Pantaleo and Justin D'Amico were called to the scene because of a fight that Garner reportedly broke up. Exchanged words with Garner about his cigarettes before Pantaleo reached around Garner's neck and put him in a chokehold, despite such a maneuver being against NYPD rules. Well, I shall not comment much about that. A similar thing happened a few months ago with the death of George Floyd. So this happened exactly 6 years ago today. Last but not, well, it's not last. So let's move on to what happened today in 2014. Another event, Malaysian Airlines, another flight, was shut down over the Ukraine-Russia border. It was halfway through its flight from Amsterdam to Malaysia, and all 298 people who were on board, mostly Danish citizens of the Netherlands, died in the explosion. A Dutch investigation later determined that the aircraft was shot down by a Russian-made surface-to-air missile. So today, 2 major plane crashes happened on this day. One in 2014 and the other in 1996. As you can see here. So maybe it's not the best day to take to the skies after all. Okay, I thought I'll do something different today, out of necessity. I hope you guys don't mind this format of scrolling through the texts. But I did promise I'll show you some pictures. So, on this day, there's somewhere close to my heart and close to my children's heart. I'm sure millions of children and adults all over the world as well. I will not keep you waiting much longer. It's Disney. So, Disneyland, Walt Disney's metropolis of nostalgia, fantasy, and futurism opens on this day in 1955. It cost $17 million and it was built on 160 acres of former orange groves in Anaheim, California, and soon brought in staggering profits. Today, Disneyland hosts more than 18 million visitors a year who spend close to $3 billion. Walt Disney was born in Chicago in 1901. He worked as a commercial artist before setting up a small studio in Los Angeles to produce animated cartoons. In 1928, his short film Steamboat Willie, starring the character Mickey Mouse, was a national sensation. It was the first animated film to use sound, and Disney provided a voice for Mickey. From there on, Disney cartoons were in heavy demand, but the company struggled financially because of Disney's insistence on ever-improving artistic and technical quality. Good on you. His first feature-length cartoon, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1938, took 3 years to complete and was a great commercial success. So, loads and loads of pictures to follow, courtesy BuzzFeed and Getty Images. Sit tight, guys, and enjoy this. So that's the man for you. Fantasyland scroll or plaque on his left arm. So on this day, 1955, there we go. So on the BuzzFeed website, there's a car park, jam-packed. Kids, very happy. Yeah, that looks very familiar. Been there with my kids. So I'll just keep going. And I remember the music when we went through some tunnel, you know. It went something like this. And on that note, that whistling note, we end today's edition of Today in History with a picture of the genius Walt Disney, who has entertained millions and millions of children and adults over the last 7 decades. So that's the man, Walt Disney, on this day in 1955. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're visiting for the first time, you haven't subscribed, please, it would do me a whole world of good if you did subscribe. Click the notification bell as well so that you receive updates of my video uploads. Thanks again, guys. I know this is an unusual video today, but I hope you like it. It's a bit different, it's a bit weird, but you know, sometimes I do crazy things, you know. And I thought, you know, because it was a day to celebrate Disney as well, do things a bit different, you know, an escape for you. And I hope you enjoy the whistling as well. It's a bit okay, guys, thanks. I shall see you tomorrow for another educative and entertaining, hopefully, edition of Today in History. Have a fantastic day, have a good night, and stay safe. Bye-bye.